Hi, this is part 3. I'm really cold right now, by the way. This is part 3 of So Alone. But not only. I get only. Wow. I'm like freezing. I'm gonna burn some incense. Open window. So, part 3 of today. Hold on. If I get lonely, I go outside. There's like a lot of people outside. Feels like tomorrow's Monday. It's like, oh my god, the manager's gonna be there. It's like, oh, apparently. Sorry, I found the big lighter. It really is. So, my kid is downstairs, and I think he's gonna sleep soon. What time is it? I don't know if he's gonna sleep soon. It's only 7. It's not time for bed. He has a weird sleep schedule again. So it might get dark, so I'll have to turn the light on. The other light on. Oh, I guess the light is on. I'm really tired. I need to print. I thought I needed 60 hours. I'm gonna turn it off. For my. I hear bird chirping. It's kind of nice. CE tracking form is what I'm looking for. So, I don't want to switch. Let's see. If I saved it, I'm gonna save it as something else. I don't want to change jobs because this person, is gonna be messing with me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, talking to me, calling my name, all this stuff. I don't want to deal with it, right? It's a part of life, and this has happened to me over and over. So I just have to be myself and say, this person's no longer my friend, and you don't have. They told me they don't want me talking to them. Now they're making an effort to talk to me. I'm like, no, you're messing with my mind. And I went to go print it, and I don't know what happened. Oh my god, the whole thing just disappeared. What if I go, like, I'm trying to, I want to print 2 pages front and back. Because I tried to say I want to wake up to sunrise. I don't think if you print on both sides, yeah, it actually. What if I don't collate it? What does collate mean? I mean, that's like, if I have 3 pages, it goes 3, and then 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. Let's just do it. What is multiple? No, I don't want multiple. Skip it. I don't want multiple. No. Oh no, I messed it up. I just want to see it that way. Print 2 in a row. I just want 1 by 1. Oh no, it's not working. Alright, I'm just gonna print 2 because my son is going to bed. So basically, I'm grieving losses of friendships. And basically, God is telling me that Thus, I don't even know if the incense is burning. The candle's burning, I remember that. So my computer is kind of frozen right now. I don't see the smoke rising up. I don't know. I'm like kind of far away. I don't smell anything, but it always smells. I don't think it's burning. It probably is though, so. I felt like God was like, don't waste your energy on these people. You like really, really need to focus. So part 3 is my cocoa is now cold. Part 1 I was heating it for more than 14, 12 minutes. Part 2 I was holding the bunny for an hour. And part 3 I am trying to decide if my incense is lit or not. The candle is here. Or so I'm gonna put a 10-minute reminder on. Why is in the northern hemisphere? Why is winter so busy? It's like the first day of spring. Why are we? Well, because it's oh my god, I gotta go back. So we gotta go to all these back to school nights and all this and all that. I mean, people are back to work. People took vacation. I didn't take vacation. I think if you took vacation, maybe you actually feel refreshed. You're ready to get back to work and make your lunch and have a cozy day. Maybe that's what it is. I don't really be at home. So this website's not that maintained. Let's see any news. I'm just gonna read the news. I want to go on video. I forget what video it was. I think it was one. There's another forest fire in the Dallas that's got the freeway diverted for 1.2 miles. That's crazy. And when it's like one way this way, one way that way. So why is this person making a fool of me? Why can't I just let it sleeping dog fly? Is that a thing you say? Like, why can't this person just once they told me leave me alone, don't talk to me, don't try to hang out with me, then they just stop talking to me. And I keep promising myself not to say anything to this person, but it's not the same. And like, I know most people that I know, they had multiple relationships in their life. And it may not be like something to brag about, but it's not like a big blank slate. I'm that person that's always been like, oh, this person's nice, let's be friends, or let's talk. Whether it's a male or female, it's like, let's just be friends, let's hang, let's talk, let's text, let's go, like I said, to that place with a group of us, you and your boyfriend, you and your girlfriend, me and a couple other people, let's celebrate someone's birthday. Like, why can't I ever be invited to a birthday party? Why can't I ever be invited to a baby shower, a wedding, a housewarming? Never, you know? It's like, I feel like always that person. This happened in high school. I had a party, nobody came. So there was 3 of us, or 4 of us, and my mom took us to the movies. And several of the girls that I invited were at the same movie. And they... And I think Shelley Stebbins and maybe Mary and Anita, I don't know who it was. But there was only like 3 people. Because I was one of them, I guess, because it was me. Someone had to sit in the front, and then 3 other people who were tallest, probably. Maybe it was the other Mary. I don't know who it was. I know Shelly was there because she came to my house. Her mom used to give me a ride to get the braces for the time we were in middle school. Back then it was called junior high. Excuse me. And the only reason she was called Shelly is because my other name is being used, and I was from a small town, so they didn't really care about people having the same name. They want like one of each in your class, in your grade. They don't want multiples. That's just in a small town. They're just like, no. Nowadays it's like, which one? So the news is pretty much the same as it was yesterday. I'm sharing this guy got left in a cave for 3 days. That's freaking scary. I feel like I probably should have brought some water up. Why is this thing is talking about rodent droppings? Why? U.S. flies bomber fighter mission off North Korean coast. I should probably read that. Associated Press. Why are they talking about rodents? I'm just so confused about this headline. It got my attention because you just saw who I was with. Around food packaging among violations of emergency center set out during a solar eclipse. So the eclipse is over. Serving emergency responders and firefighters. God, my computer's frozen up. Cooked food placed near raw meat and out-of-date supplies. Why did they inspect? It must have been a surprise. So, this guy looks native. Illegal gill netting. I'm gonna apply for a job. I don't want to do this for real, but sometimes I want to know what it feels like, well, to get paid enough to pay my rent. And be like, guess what? I just worked 2 weeks, and another 2 weeks, and I can write my rent check and not be like, please don't bounce. Like, everyone empty your pockets. Found a penny on the street today. They said that outbreak. Oh, my computer just, like, basically, like, died just now. Like, this San Diego and LA outbreak in hepatitis A. They're like, don't pick up any, don't pick up any, what's the word I'm looking for? Pennies off the ground. So I was like, oh god, they bleached the ground. Remember they had that, was it Texas? Those mosquito viruses. They sprayed it. I was like, tell the kids, if they spray us, you gotta stay in the house. You gotta sit in the house. Windows duct tape. If I have to go out, I'll wear a hazmat suit. They spray right outside right outside our door. I went out in it the other day. Oh my god, I think that's like carcinogenic. I went out in it and I got really sick. And I was really scared about how everybody and their kids are out there and these guys are spraying all this chemicals, and I would use chemicals also only natural ones if needed, not if, like, I pluck the weeds out around just so they don't spray. Then it rains and it goes on your car and you're getting in your car, you put your bag on the ground and your bag ends up in your bed and you got like pesticides and you're freaking fat. You're like, what the heck? Like, someone touched my fat right now. Someone brushed it. It was on the food packaging. In a very real emergency, rodent droppings with the blast of the orders. I've been at the food pantry, and I've seen a lady. I wanted to describe her demographic, but it was basically exact demographic opposite of me. When I go in a place, in the past, people look at me and follow me around, think I'm going to steal, or think that I'm trying to gyp somebody or something. But these people, and it's one thing if I did this in my house, and sometimes I lived in spots with rodents that weren't pets that got into the house or apartment. And I had apartment people not take care, like, oh, we put out traps. We hired a guy, like, oh, her house is filthy, no wonder, they said, no wonder there's mice, a mouse, and like, her house is cluttered, but it's clean. They're like, she keeps it clean. I was like, oh, thanks for saying that, but it is true, it's cluttered. It is cluttered. My parents always had a lot of stuff, but they kept it clean, like sanitary, like actually very extremely sanitary. It's just like kind of extreme. I think I smell the incense. Oh yeah, that's my timer. Speaking of incense, I'm gonna start it again. So I'm gonna put it off so that I don't fall asleep sitting home. You know that box with the rabbit in. Now I'm not trying to say that I'm perfect because I'm distributing things and life happens and you don't know what you could actually distribute. Or not see. Somebody had an ant infestation. I was watching it every time I came to your house. I was like, wow, do you know you have these ants? She goes, really? I never noticed I had ants. She goes, I can't see that well. Somebody else had rat droppings in their silverware drawers, and I said, we need to wash the silverware before we eat off it. She goes, really? Why do you say that? I go, do you have mouse? She goes, why do you say that? I said, because there's rat droppings. She's like, really? You can see that well. To me, mouse dropping rat. She had a pet rat, sorry. Pet droppings. Pet droppings usually go in a cage. Usually it's the operative word there. Rat or mice droppings I could see. And when I say so alone and this and that, then I have to say, put it in life in perspective, say, hey, you can see. Hey, you can walk, even if you have to stop. Hey, you can do this and do that and do this. So I had to tell myself that I'm able to do these things and that not everybody is. And yeah, sure, they might be married and have the 13 kids and have the kittens and the puppies and the house on the farm and this and this and this and drive a, what does my daughter want? Tesla, something like that. And a Porsche SUV, right? But they might give anything to be able to see or to be able to walk or be able to taste their food. Some people that get the tongue cancer, get the tongue cut out, all this stuff. People can't talk. I met some people that their careers were very social on a daily basis. Social. Part of the job, you have to be very communicative. And they were not able to talk because of their health condition. And it's a lot of us talk to people. Or like me, make videos. Or talk at jobs. Or talk at the grocery store. Or go either reach your hand for help or be the one to yank those people out with God's help. And a lot of that involves talking. And it becomes a situation where you feel like you don't know if these people have visitors or friends or relatives or kids or neighbors that care. Some people, their neighbors are best friends. You never know how God places us in the world. If you don't know, I've been in a hospital holding the hand of somebody who was going to die any minute. And that was their worst fear, was to die alone. But it was early on. And I forgot to check in the nurse. They sent a page or something and I didn't I read it a bunch of times. It was the first time I received a page. Like a text page. And I was like, kept reading it, and then I was like, okay, got this down. And then, so basically I was in the office, and then I had to go find these people in a different building, go to the floor. I memorized like their name, the room number, floor, and I forgot to check in. And they're like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, she's like, okay. She's like, I need to debrief you. I was like, blah, 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 blah. I was like, I'm just a volunteer, don't tell me all this. I don't know anything. I was like, my secret life, I'm a doctor. But I'm also a victim. But I'm also a single mom. I've also been homeless multiple times. And I had to put it, like, I'm telling you this now, because one of my teachers used to say, let me get off my soapbox. So I think somebody made him a soapbox. He's like, this is how I feel. You know, he was an allopath and a naturopath. And, and there, people have, I really like integrative medicine. But it's like, you're going to be scientific, you're going to state the facts, ma'am. What are the facts? You're going to state that this is the last data that's been collected and that it could change tomorrow, change at midnight, based on the recommendations of these big, like, you have like the WHO and you have like World Health, or that's WHO, you have like the CDC says this is what you do. In 100 years, that could be the Earth's flat. You don't know. It changes. But you have, I think, as a physician, I know, and as a human, I know that things are changing. My rabbit's hair could be black next time you see it. He could adapt. His ancestors were dark. Some of them were white, like him, but the other half of them were dark, like me. So it's like me and my kids. Did you come out white like my son, or did you come out darker like my daughter, or really dark like me? I don't have a third child, so maybe that would be the darker one, or maybe that would be the redhead one. One of them is a black redhead, black hair, red hair, like red. It's naturally red, black, which is really weird to me, because we have a lot of redheads in my mom's side of the family. Black people with white skin and red hair, freckles, lighter eyes, so I don't ever see these people. You know, it's funny. I try to keep in touch with a bunch of relatives, and they yell and holler at me about a threatening relative and how I'm not talking to them out of desperation for money. I said, God help me that I would become homeless before I accept money from these people, or before I try to negotiate a reason, or talk about, like, I try to be an adult and talk about finances and taxes, and this person just finds you on your down day, when you're, like, sick and you're down and out, and they, like, snatch what you have and do this stuff behind your back. And that is not the way, like, if I was handicapped or my mental capacity wasn't enough to have that kind of conversation, I would, or I say, here's all right and power, go ahead and do it. That's one thing. But when you're saying, no, don't do that, and no, you need to communicate, and no, I'm an adult, you need to not go behind my back or forge stuff or do this, and they do it anyway, and they do it even worse, then it gets to be like, I'm done. Because you're going to get me in trouble. I don't want to be in trouble. So, it says Relax World isn't going to end. This is from 2 days ago. So far the world is still here. This planet didn't crash. Let's see. Nothing. There's nothing. I think there's a run. So I don't see anything from today. I just wanted to share with you the headlines. Mostly the run of the paint block of zombie apocalypse. So nothing written. Oh wait, it was 14 hours ago today. That makes me want to go watch 2012. So here's what I'm beating around the bush. I really I really thought that I could be in partnership with somebody, with a friend, and or the same person be like a future husband. And even if it, even if, I don't like to use if, but even if it is like the Paul says in the Bible, and this guy is like not at that level. Like we all of my ex-husband, he's like death voids that. Even if they're just like your bestie, that's a guy. Like, dude, I'm having trouble screwing this thing way above my head. Can you help me? Like simple things like that where you don't have help. Or, oh my god, I can't lift this railroad tie into my truck or into your truck, so I don't have a truck. Like, I like to be that old-fashioned, like woman kind of thing. I like chivalrous things, but nowadays guys are just like, some of them are like, oh my god, I'm scared. Like, if I say, can I hang out, can I get your number, it's like, are they gonna say, oh my god, it's sexual abuse? Like, people freak out, start suing everybody, and what is it called in the workplace and all that stuff. So you're like, whatever. And so it's like, I'm like so not wanting to shut that off. I'm going to because it's getting. I'm gonna charge my phone too. So it's like I'm gonna make something like this quilted thing. That was like my favorite thing. The lady was like, "Yeah, I can use it for Christmas or this or this or this." I was like, Christmas. And then I forget. I was like, "Oh, I love American." Only Americans think I don't look American. Foreigners, they know I'm American. Okay, the incense is burnt out. Let's put the candle out. Make sure the air filter on. My son's like, how can you live with this pollution? So I basically was praying. My friend laughed at me last year, and it was embarrassing. She basically laughed at me, and I was like, "Hey, I was praying one day about helping, helping people, being that hand, and I went to donate money. Someone was selling a bunch of property in the country from a divorce, and she goes, I really wanted to go to someone who's going to open like a woman's shelter or horses for women who are abused. And I was like, oh my god, I've always had that dream. I went to a house, and you hear after 6 weeks about people in the neighborhood saying, we don't want the shelter, we don't want these homeless people in our neighborhood, they can't park their cars in the street. You know, it's street parking, it's free parking, there's no sign that says you must live here. But basically, they said, we get complaints all the time, and you guys need to follow the rules, park your car. We were moving there, we were homeless, and then we had a car, we had like 24 hours to move it into the house, and you had to park your car. So you couldn't even, with 2 babies and a stroller, go and park the car out front to put your groceries in the house. That's how bad these neighborhood people are. I hear, and it's a predominantly white neighborhood, probably 99.9%. I don't even know if it's 100. It could be 97, but from what I saw, it wasn't. Unless you count some of the people in the house like me, it could be that 0.1% on a temporary basis. I don't know a lot of people like this, the ones that complain about why there's type of people in my house. Why is people pooping on the sidewalk? They're pooping on the sidewalk because they gotta go, and they have 1 pair of pants, and there's no public restroom, and they don't have a home, and now they don't have any toilet paper. So they're gonna go in with their stinky pants and try to get a job at a fast food restaurant when they got a nasty, dirty beard because they don't have any shave. I used the same this year freaking razor for, I swear, a year. I made myself finally just throw it away. My daughter's like, Mom, you haven't bought razors. Disposable razors. I went through my emergency kit right here, and I had to pull. So basically, since I lost my job and was out of school, or I was getting loan money to pay for housing expenses, I basically gave away, or used, sorry, not gave away, I used all of my emergency preps. So the razors were part of the grooming kit, or emergency knife, or whatever. I think I had 2 in there. I said that, so ever since I lost my job, when I need something, I go into this. So I have, I should probably use, yeah, these are shower caps. I don't know if they work. These got dry rotted. The elastic didn't work. I have my T-ball. I would like to sell this online, but I might actually use it. Because I don't have one. I have the 2 spoons. They're really small. And I have ointment that was supposed to be thrown away in 2012 for MRSA. I'm not throwing this out. It's so old though. It's only 15 servings. I think it's, gentamicin sulfate ointment. 0.1%. Not for ophthalmic use. I had like this sore. And there's my phone. I gotta answer it. Hold on. It's my daughter. So I thought she left her tea at home. And I opened it up. I said, oh shoot, she left her tea. She left in a hurry. And I was gonna wait till I put it in the fridge. I was gonna wait till she got home and be like, you want that tea? You left in a hurry. I feel so bad. I almost got in the car and took it to her. And she's like, I put a piece of paper, a piece of fabric in it that has tea and honey and paper. She's like, don't drink it. She's like, well, there's no sugar in it. I guess you could drink it, Mom. What kind of paper is she going to have? So, okay, I have kitchen twine. So, the rest is on the bed. So, the kitchen twine is kind of like all-purpose rope, but also you can cook with it. And we're not going to cook our animals, so we'll be making, like, I don't know, have an old zucchini in there. Actually, probably needs to be thrown away. So, I have some bags. They outlawed these in Portland, grocery bags. You can't get grocery bags in Portland. So, I almost, our church wasn't in Portland. I was like, people that lived in Portland, they would bring, people that lived in Gresham when they outlawed these, would bring in stuff and clothes and stuff for the kids or food or whatever in plastic bags. I was like, oh my god, we should sell that because it's like outlawed. Like we can't. So I'm gonna save this bag. Like you guys in Gresham can still get bags. So I live on the Tigard border in Beaverton, so you can still get bags, but not from like health food stores or whatever. Personally, I reuse these as many times as I can, and then I finally bring them in to recycle them, but they get used as much as I can. I don't know if the bottle recycling place has them, but I'll use them and bring them back. I'll use them and bring them back home, but then it gets to the point where you're like hoarding everything, so you're like, forget it. This is, this is dry. I forgot this is dry. These are Continental. I think these are toilet paper wipes. I'd probably impulse them. I might go to Dollar Tree tomorrow. I don't want to go to Dollar Tree, but I might go to use my, one card I need to use 10 times a month. I used it once today. These are hard. I'm going to keep them in there because you can wet them down and they're not opened. But I might actually, use them too. So they're flushable. It's basically salt water and sodium benzoate, polysorbate, sodium lauryl glucose, carboxylate, lauryl glucoside, malic acid, fragrance, parfum, methyl iso, thiazolone, or aloe barbadensis, leaf juice, propylene glycol, tocopheroacetate, vitamin E in the form of tocopheroacetate, and some of it's in French, some of it's just one word. This, I have some of this in the car. I should probably find it. This is fire and fuel starter. I have no idea what it is. 30-year shelf life. Pour onto a non-flammable surface, light with a match. Stir occasionally. Cook 1 to 3 inches above flame. So this burns between 15 and 30 minutes. And you can use it to start campfires and charcoal. So this, I don't know why I bought it, because I just buy. I bought stuff from Emergency Kit. I don't know what it is. It doesn't say what it is. Part of it is I have also the things you pour water in and then it heats up. So you can put MRE in there. Since I don't eat cooked foods, that would be for the kids. So each of us, I don't know where my son's is, should have one of these. My daughter was stuck in a snowstorm at the bus stop for 3 hours. I told her to bring this out, and she didn't. But how do you know which side's the inside? She had 3 coats. She considers her big hoodie a coat. Cotton swabs. I have to use these for the gold. So this just, threw it on the floor and went right to my legs. Oh god, I don't have space. Oh, here's the thing from our Red Cross tube. It came with a mask, a whistle, light stick, water pouch, and emergency blanket. So that means we have at least 2. Here's only 2 female products. They look dirty. You should check it. You never know. It could burrow and stuff. I should probably just add some more. Keep that and add some more to that, because that wouldn't do anyone any good. Here's another emergency blanket. I think my daughter has hers. There might be. Did they come with? I think the Red Cross thing came with it. Here's a manual can opener. So basically, it's nice. Basically, I had a manual can opener. Oh god, I still cut myself off. This is really heavy. I had a manual can opener. I had 2 with the metal handles, and mine was dull. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna use the one for emergency kit. And I'm like, I can't switch them out. And so I kind of switched them out. So I was like, you're gonna get an emergency, and you're not gonna open any cans. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna stop having stuff separate. Like, the kids wouldn't know to come behind my door and look for this if something happened, if I wasn't here. We were supposed to mark everything and say emergency kit. Maybe once these eBay things get empty, I will do that. I should do that tonight. I have some of these crates. Last time I went to this crate that's down here, I start crying. It's a bunch of artwork and stuff from the kids, but that would be a good start. But I had somehow bought this. I don't know if it works. I should probably test it out to make sure it's not faulty. But I have the 2 downstairs with the metal handles, and that's what we use for regular, and I just have them both. I believe they're both in the drawer. There's probably one on the counter somewhere. So I have these. We have one of these knives. It's so dull. I've been using it since like 2004. Like, no, the one I was using since 2004 was a serrated knife that's never been sharpened. And this one, the one like this, I got a single pack that I've had since I don't know how long ago. So everything in my life is like I came out of a coma in 2004. Here's something I forgot about. I'm like losing my stuff here. Here is a pair of socks. Oh shoot, there's a pair of little ones. So my son was the smallest. One kid's, one's woman short, and one woman's long. So we need to get, I'm going to get them socks. Oh, there's another can opener. Here's like a bottle opener. So I need to replace the kids' socks. So my son doesn't have any. I might just, I have a coupon. I'm supposed to go buy shipping supplies. I can use the same coupon. That sounds weird. Oh yeah, here's the lint from the dryer. Again, I should probably get more. This is something that's not, I hope there's no bugs in here. I'm paranoid. This is something that's not, here's gloves. I think these are latex. Yeah, they're open. These might be, I might not want to use latex. It says 2, 3, 15. I've showed this bag before, but I don't know if I posted it. Here's like one female product, the little ones. Who knows if they're any good. Here's a couple of Band-Aids. Sometimes, who knows if they're good, because sometimes it's like, oh, you clean out the car or you do something. And the baggie may or may, like, you don't know. And there's about, oh, there's a big stack of Band-Aids. So, sometimes I stash these in the car, and I run out of money. And so what I did, before I lost my job or something, I bought reusable pads. I bought a couple of pairs, or like 2 or 3, and I bought a set. And they gave me a student discount with a wash pan, 2 of the zipper bags, and I had one big one, 2 small ones, and the ones that have the changeable innards, or the addable innards. And I used a bunch, and I left them for like 4 days. I forgot to wash them. And if they were dry, they would just be stained. I left them in water for several days, maybe longer, and I opened it, it was rotten. I washed it, I rinsed it, I washed it twice. Ruined. I had to cry. I said, man, these things are expensive. So I just used the ones that I had from the kit, the other ones, which is not easy to go in a public place. Like, people try to rinse that stuff and Diva cups off in the sink. I don't think that's sanitary. These ones you're supposed to literally, what is this on the floor? You're supposed to, put them in the pouch and then take that to your house. But when you're gone for 13 hours a day, or you're at birth and these things, so I'd use like, not this brand of pads, the lightweight ones for Kotex. Kotex didn't seem to bother me. There was like the one little liner that didn't bother me. Regular female products give me this rash that lasts for 3 weeks. I used to have PMS for 3.5 weeks. I'm like, really? I probably still do. But yeah, so anyways, too much information, but it was a money saver because we didn't have to pay for laundry. We have our own laundry. You used to have to pay all that utility stuff, but I feel better washing it single, hand rinsing and washing it, than to even use a shared facility, which is, a lot of people use the shared facility. I used shared facility for many years, and we had a shared facility on site, and people had lice over and over, all this cockroaches, and so I decided not to use a shared facility. Or I did use a shared facility, but I went off of the apartments and into my kid's school neighborhood, which was Hayhurst School. So that's what I did there. So again, I shared this about Cody London's book, his second book. I'm sorry, I forget the name. I don't remember. In case all Ichido hockey sticks breaks loose. So he's still at the point of having this nice house. I don't know what he said about bug out vehicles or bug in or camp outside, but basically his house is self-sustaining, and the heat and cooling was not on the grid. And he needed to not stockpile little things like those, but just keep the stuff in the house that you need, batteries or food, and just keep rotating stuff forward. Use the old, replace it with the new, and you just keep it. My daughter had said that before I read the book. And when I read the book, I said this before, I passed 2 board exams in 1 year. And his first thing was self-confidence, using your brain, not stockpiling a bunch of junk and weapons and not knowing how they work, or panicking. So I was afraid to do this. I get really, really hungry and really, really lightheaded and really, really dizzy when I don't eat and I sleep. But I can't sleep because I have my stomach growling like it was a few minutes ago. And I gotta do my call report. I gotta do it like now. I I eat and I feel fat and salt bloated, and then I get stuff done. But the food is so expensive that for the anti-allergen, not just fruit and vegetables. Like people talk about fruit and vegetables and plant-based diet and all this, but like I can't deal with coconut. Like coconut sugar doesn't seem to bother me. I had something with coconut amino, but like the salt that I usually eat after I hadn't been on salt for a while, it like really gives me sores. I get reverse postnasal drip when I eat a food that's got an allergen, or they say it's raw, it's not. And today I ate these pizza raw crackers. I've had them like 5 times this year, and I was like, oh my god, I used to eat them all the time. But that would be like the snack in my bag at school that when you really didn't have anything, you nibble on that so you get all broken up. I had a ton of stuff like that, but they also sold different raw foods at the school. People lie, or they have stuff cross-contaminated, or they don't mark that it's got corn, or maybe it's exposed to eggs, or they say it's 100% raw, and then they put maple syrup, and who knows what else. Like, who knows what else in it is not raw? If they're saying flax seeds, who knows if they toasted sesame seeds? Who knows? Um, and that was a really difficult thing, and I just feel like there's a few products, and a lot of them end up having coconut in them. A couple of them, I was getting really anxious, and I found out they had rice in them. I don't do well with rice. I feel like in my heart that just drop my daughter off at work tomorrow and come home. Like, don't even worry about any other thing except for getting your stuff together. Um, so an hour beating around the bush, 47 minutes, seconds. I had been invited by this lady to come do women's health at her clinic in Vancouver. And after I got in a car accident, before I got in a car accident, like, oh yeah, I don't have the money. My dad was going to give me money and this and that to pay for my clinic startup, and that's thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, and the $10,000 I need for midwifery. And that money all fell through, which is why I worked from till midnight on the 28th, the day I graduated. That's the day you could do work study until midnight, like 11:59 p.m. And 3 days later, I started at 8 a.m. at a big person job. And I was still in school and studying full time. And a single mom, but the money fell through. And that fluke of maybe you misunderstood me or this, that, the truth is like, well, they just tell you what you want to hear. And then they just tell you what you want to hear, and then they renege on the whole thing. And then they try to say, oh, well, you talk too fast, or, oh, what do you think I made of money, or blah, 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 fill in the blank. You're like, why didn't you say it in the first place? Because I had opportunity to borrow money from 2 different places. I don't like borrowing money. But if I had the funds to do this stuff, then the business would be my focus. And I can't go back in time and undo that. So I looked everything up about business, starting on a shoestring budget. What's the other word like shoestring? Whatever that other terminology is for basically you have nothing and you're opening a business. So when you pick away at it, you spend years just having the facility. It's like I'm a shoe store. And that's my dream. I went to school and I learned how to be a shoe saleswoman and all that stuff. I got the facility, and it's got a parking lot, and it's got an elevator, and it's got, one shoe sizing thing. And I even got the disinfectant to clean it. Somebody comes in and cleans because it's part of the rent. But I don't have the shoes. I don't have the shoes. I don't have the inventory. I don't have a cash register. I don't have a computer. I can't advertise. So people all say, oh, I heard you're starting a shoe store. They come in, there's nothing. Well, when you get something, you call us. Do you have a business card? No, I don't have anything. Here, you got like something, you got a Sharpie I can write on your arm? Here's my number. But my cell phone doesn't work very well. It works like half the time. So keep calling, keep calling, keep calling. And that's how partly was true. And the other part is it wasn't shoe stores that I looked. And it really, 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 really hurt. And every time I met some people, like last summer when I met those men and women, and I became friends with them, and then they disappeared. Or I disappeared as part of it. I run from guys that talk to me or offer me a job. I like run. I'm not gonna. So I tell you, I whine about being lonely, or maybe this guy likes me, or maybe they're flirting. I don't know because they're younger than me. I don't understand the lingo. And then I'm like, then I run, or you flirt back and they run, and you're just like, wait a second. Like we're all just humans, so I have to put it in perspective. I'm wearing my JLo shirt today. Last I heard, JLo couldn't locate any relatives in Puerto Rico. I sent a couple of packages to Puerto Rico, and I almost had, in the past, 2 decades ago, married a Puerto Rican. And he was in the Marines. And he was ready to be married right away. He's like, we're going to go to Puerto Rico. You and your dog come move with me. I'm going to get you an apartment, and we're going to be married. My mom, I'm like, can't wait to meet my mom. Like, he was like, I hardly knew this guy. His name was Felix. And so I have this, like, someone's like, this white lady, she had blue eyes, and she's like, you're never gonna, no man in this country, she told me this recently, like 3 years ago, no man in this country is ever gonna like you and your kids, you're gonna be single unless you leave. So you need to go somewhere like Puerto Rico, or some other country, I don't know, maybe it was Hawaii, that's not a country, it was like, there's no way any man is gonna like you, and no one's gonna like your kid. She didn't even know my kids. And what hurts is people like her and my ex-husband and my relatives that say that. Basically, they're hitting the nail on the head. I have been single most of my life, and I was willing to try to travel to be like, maybe I'll meet someone on a train that's not afraid. And did you see that scary video? Oh my god, I can't talk about it. Can I? Can I talk about it? I don't know it, but it's that guy who's flirting and looking at this lady, and this black lady, this white guy, and she has a drip from her bag, and she's getting it, and she's like next to him on the train, and one of them gets off, and I think the guy is a skinhead. I don't know if he has a swastika tattoo. I think he has a tattoo on his neck. I think she gets off, and he watches her out the window, and while he's watching her, I think you see that video scared the crap out of me. Because where I come from, people try to kill you when they don't like you because you're black. Just because you're born as an innocent, conceived, two cells coming together with this DNA pattern, people want to kill you. That sucks. Now, this video is a little bit different, but it made me jump at that. I was like, this guy was like interested in this woman, and she was bubbly and polite. And what's scary is my mom said when she was in the South, and these people were like that. I don't know if this is a European movie or not. She said when people were in the South and she knew they were racist, they didn't care that they were racist. And when she said she didn't like the North because people were passive aggressive, she didn't use that term, but she'd go to the antique store and she goes, I know that guy's a racist. I didn't know the term, but I overheard her and the other black lady speaking, and I pieced together that these people didn't like us, and they were trying to run us off the road with their big trucks, and they were trying to kill us because our skin was darker than theirs. And it scared me when kids at school called me the N-word, and it scared me when they wrote it on a locker and wrote, Nazi signs. It scared me when they threatened to burn down my house while I slept on Devil's Night. And, okay, so the beating around the bush, I have been alone, but I'm scared of people for that reason. I'm scared of people because the people that are supposed to love you and say God loves you or I love you unconditionally because of who you are, not because of anything you've done. When your family doesn't say that, and basically everything you do is wrong, it gets confusing. who's good and who's bad. It gets confusing what red flags there are. And I wanted to. My friend asked me to work, and I had just gotten a car accident. And I said, "God, I really need a place. I need a location." And I said, "Are you willing to go?" And I looked at the requirements for Washington State. I need to take an AIDS class. The free one on the island somewhere in Washington State. Like, I mean, the kids are going to have to get up there. It's going to be all day or spend the night. I think you have to take a ferry, pay for the ferry. There's some online. I wish you could just take it. I think there's one for like $12. And then you have to take their jurisprudence test, open book online. And then you have to do a really extensive background check. And then after that, I don't know if they have the formulary test or if it's also open book. But in Oregon, you have to go sit for another board exam. Which is, I think it's 2 tests. It's 2 tests, yeah. I guess it's one in the morning, one in the afternoon. Unless you take it with your board exam, your clinical board exam. So, and I gotta do paperwork for midwifery. I just gotta do it. I just gotta put my butt over on the east side and just sit there and do it. But I'm gonna call my second clinic Bunker 2. Now, can I find a place to rent for $50? I was like, what if I just purchase some land for $50 a month, and I throw a yurt on it with a handicap ramp, a sink, a bathroom, 2 bathrooms, and a living space for the family, 2 bunk beds to sleep on. Like, private bathroom there, with some kind of shower or some kind of facility, and then another. I was like, can I do that? Like, I would be able to afford $50 a month or a yurt. But I'm like, for some reason, I've been thinking about this for years, but when my friend asked me again and again and again, she was like really confusing when it came to business, like confusing us, so asking a lot of questions sucked the energy out of me, so it felt kind of toxic. The second thing about the situation was I couldn't drive that far because of the accident. And I considered going once a month. So I said, listen, let's talk about this. Right now, I can't pay for the boards, for the state exams and the paperwork and the license. I'd probably need DEA through there. And I said, well, let me save up and start taking the classes and doing everything I need to do, and then I'll get back to you. And I had considered before talking to her, there's a doctor who has a clinic that I love. It used to be another doctor's. Let's look her up. So as far as I know, it's called Battleground Healing Arts. I just looked it up. And she still has her website. And another. Oh yeah, she has a store. And she has some property down. This is like the most awesome place that I have been in a while. She has organic goods and produce. I might look at more of this stuff. I've been to her store and her clinic. She toured it in her house. She had some classes there. Oh, I know this person. I can't believe she's there. All these people that graduated after me, I feel like, oh my god. I don't know who that is. What's an NC? know what that is. Nutrition? Oh wow, this lady took over. Was a midwife there. I feel like I need to. This is just a list. Oh, I'm gonna cry. I just think their website is actually really updated. It used to not really be. Actually, it probably was. I just get jealous of other people, and I'm like, these people are doing what I'm doing, and if you're able to be able to be a mentor to these people that recently graduated, when you're in practice for 30 years, that's kind of awesome. Like, I had to remember that I'm the same degree, and I have the same. This lady, Julian, is probably one of the closest types of doctors that I want to be. Looks like there's some food. So let's click on it. I didn't do anything. Click to see what's available. It's not. It says content is not copyrighted. What? What the heck? That was scary. I don't know what it said. It was like. I'm looking for this one herb. I don't know. I'm gonna look for it probably in Chinese. Anyways, I'm getting distracted. So I could have a clinic near this person if I don't want to. It's not that far of a drive, but I felt like I needed to try to buy land in Oregon, and there is no land anywhere, probably not much in Washington. But I wanted to open up a remote clinic, and I wanted somehow to get just like this, a home, an office, a medical office, and a store, and have some maybe potential for birth center, or if there's not a birth center, because that's hardcore, a birth class room, or have someone come in for yoga. Because I rent my home and my office, there's so many rules, it's almost impossible to follow them all at the same time. So if I own a place and somebody else is insured and they do something, like, I'm not responsible because I lease them a room for an hour a month to do yoga or Reiki, you know. So that's what I'm talking about right now, is I'm going to say medical office residential, which I spelled wrong. I think I still spelled it wrong. I'm missing some letters. I don't have money for this, but oh my God, I said residential instead of residential. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, I forgot to say. Let's just put that down and see what's surrounding there, because it's not a far drive. So these are land lots. Naturopathic doctor for wellness and no better office. Who the heck is this? Vancouver office space. So I don't want to spend the whole video looking up stuff. I don't make money at my clinic here, partly because I'm overwhelmed and it's hard to finish everything. So I clicked on this Craigslist and it ends up being, oh, here it is. It was under jobs. I was like, what the heck? I was looking for real estate. So someone else has a clinic in Battleground. Zara Clinic. No, that's Clark County. So my daughter was like, oh, we should not buy bug out land in the south towards California. We should be closer to Canada. I was like, okay. These people look so fake. Like, everything looks so nice, but that makes a big difference in business, how you look. So I want to tell you something. I'm just looking at this acupuncture. Let's see. Let's see who works here. It's a small community. It doesn't say who works there. It just says, doesn't say anything. Practitioners. I always get jealous. I'm like, oh, this person. Everyone has super long hair or blonde hair. I don't know who that is. I recognize that last name. Let's see who this natural health is. I don't recognize her face. Oh, because she's from Bastyr. So Bastyr, well, it's a couple hours from here, which Battle Round is not that far. Here. My stomach is growling. So I have to do my car report. I considered this since probably 2016 when my friend asked me, especially when I lost my job. After the car accident, I was supposed to be at a clinic up in Clackamas near my kid's school. I couldn't get out there either, and it was supposed to be 2 days a week. What I focused my time and energy on was doing births, and I think that wore me the heck out even worse. It was just like having to wear all these braces. I was basically like taping myself together just to get up and get in the car and get to these places. And when it used to be like, meet me at the birth in an hour, where I could get up, take a shower, get dressed, make cocoa, bring some food, pack my bag, run back in and out of the house, became, all right, Lakes, come on, work. Like, if you meet an hour, you're still going to leave in 30 minutes or 40 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever, depending where you're going. They aren't all like that, but let's just say that. And you're just like, come on, Lakes, work. And you barely drag your butt out of bed. You don't change clothes. You might grab a change of clothes. You don't brush your teeth. You don't take a shower. You don't grab food unless you already threw something in the car the night before. And you basically run out of the house with a pair of slip-on shoes and the bag I had with my medical equipment in it. And that's what the accident did. It made it that I can't just get up and go. I think I have a fear of doing births because of that. I think I have a fear. Somebody told me the other day, you said you'd go to all the states of Oregon and potentially sign up in Washington to be a doula. But you want to get in the car and drive. Oh, I think I'm having contractions every 3 minutes. Like, am I gonna drive here 7 hours to freaking Baker City? Maybe. Will I get paid if I miss a birth? No. Alright. That's a problem. But I feel like I need to get out and get some fresh air, travel the world, and get paid for it. If it's insurance and I'm not at the birth because I missed it, I'm not going to get paid. If they're paying me cash and I come right after the birth and I still help the family, that's a different story. Let's just say Oregon. Doula Jobs, Oregon. This is like a whole bunch. Who are these people? Root Mama Maternal Care. So, what is this? There's a bunch of junk on Indeed. Atlanta, Georgia, doula. The doula, but they want a case manager. Did I not say Portland? Yeah, there's like doula jobs all over the East Coast. Like actual paid jobs, not like self-employment. I feel like I should be a doula instead of working sales. But I don't know what happened with this like freaking car accident. It really screwed up my life, and I just don't know. Part-time head lice removal technician. What the heck? That is disgusting. $25 an hour. You're gonna pay me more than that. I know how to nitpick. I have kids who have lice, especially a daughter without the hair. On call. I don't want to go to the Devon house. You have to have your own metal comb. So you gotta buy it through their website and sell it to the client for $20. Have olive oil available on the job. That is disgusting. So they're advertising all people. I ain't doing this. I'm like, hire a bunch of bald dudes that don't have families, that have hair. That's scaring me. I'm like, oh no, this is worse than the old dead fish pull out, the dead fish. So they only have jobs for RN. They don't have doula jobs. I was gonna say RN. So they're talking about jobs as a team in a hospital that consists of also a doula. I'm gonna type in birth peer assistant. See what happens. Okay. Let's just say peer. No, it's not called peer assistant. It's called like peer support. What do you call it? Someone told me to get that job at Providence. Nope. Peer Providence jobs. Birth peer jobs. Okay, so they have it separately. Quality assistance and some kind of crisis worker. Yeah, they like the bilingual thing. This is so ridiculous. So I was telling myself, you know what? You really because of your disability that you don't like to call, I don't know how to spell neighborhood right now, neighbor. Because of your disability, you don't have to work in the east side. You don't have to work. Like, yeah, you want more jobs, but you technically, realistically, don't have to travel. Like, there was a job, but it was a weekend job at Stevens Crossing or some kind of apartment, like where we live. And they wanted people to drive vans and drive teenagers around. And I was like, oh, I should do that, but I have this weekend job. And I'm like, but the weekend job used to be every weekend. Now she's not scheduling me. And I'm like kind of freaking out. So I think this preschool teacher, you do have to have the education. But it's actually just this. I don't know. I've been in the registry for child care, which is similar to the one for job. I don't want to be the head teacher. She gets paid more money. I think you have to do more of the actual school training. Assistant teacher, 12.50 to 13.50. It's like not that much money, but it's if it was Monday through Friday. Float teacher, $12. Peninsula, it's far away. Actually, it might not be. I was looking at this before. There's like so many jobs and they're not like listed where you can click child care center director. It reports to social director, $28 to $32 an hour. Home visitor. I was gonna do this. Head Start home visitor. Do you have to speak Spanish? You have to speak Spanish. These are like the same jobs that were up there before. There's like so many listed here. I should apply for the home visit. The thing is, if I do that for my own business, community partners. I'm gonna look up that. Come on. Alright, becoming a community partner. That is talking about the food bank. Let's not this. Let's check this on. What is this? Renew your coverage using new coverage. Individuals and families. Help not available. Help is not available right now. Oh my god. So what I need is how to sign up for community partner. It took me right back to where it was. No, it didn't. It's a little bit different. Alright, so I'm gonna go. I found a banana in the back of the car. When I fell under my stool, I found it afterward. So basically, this guy made me feel like a jerk because I was nice, and I told him I was nice, and he's like, his girlfriend's gonna get mad because I'm talking to him. So now I'm like, I don't want to go to work next week and be like, like, I'm just like embarrassed. But I'm like, you know, it is what it is, and I have to realize that it's probably gone on 6 weeks now that I said, God, I pray that in any communication or whatever, just like tuna fish, that I have with people in my community, that I find that you help me to separate from who needs to be separated. Like something, prevent something bad from happening. Like, if I didn't go in that car that day, I can't go back in time, but I always say, you know what, you never know why things happen. What if I skipped it, the appointment and took my kid to, like these people were at a fabric store. What if I went to fabric store and someone T-boned me and killed my kid? Like, or killed me. Um, stuff like that. I have to keep that in mind when I pray for God to guide me. You don't know why my body died from, like, couldn't go to work that day, which was like the only time since the car accident that I missed work, unless my kid was super sick. And made it so that I was in that vehicle that day as a passenger. Because if she had been by herself, she probably wouldn't have been an accident, although there was another accident on the road. Which is why traffic stopped, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, that person could have died. Who knows? You never know. You can't know what happens if you go back in time. You can't undo it. And I guess it's like, I guess it's like one of those things that's like a wake-up call. And I had people complain to my kids that I changed. And basically, like, I was a brat because I'm not talking to them. But my body has been so dead since then. It's like, it feels like my hands and feet are dead. Like, they're going to turn black and just rot off. Like, you'll get that on their teeth. And I don't want that to happen. I'm trying to keep my body alive. And I don't know what's God's plan for me. I have a lot of things that I should learn to have fun doing. Um, I said, I've been single since my 20s. I was single before in my teens and young adult years. So, what's different? Like, I had this, like, the biggest group was a few women, young women, in first and second year college. We'd go to parties and concerts. So, I can be grateful for that. And I had a couple guys, we'd go dancing, and I could be grateful for that. And right now, I don't want to like go to parties. Like, yeah, people have backyard barbecues, wedding showers. They go to they just spontaneously decide to hang out or go to movies, go to concerts once in a while, go to blues festival. And people do that kind of stuff with somebody. But I'm not necessarily one of those people that does that. So yeah, I have to learn to do this stuff by myself and not be mad at myself or God because I'm alone. And I kept saying, God, when you're a parent of a teenager, two teenagers, you feel like you should be partnered up, you should be married, so that you can sit and watch TV with your spouse and feed each other ice cream and wait for your kid to get home before the curfew and be partnership. And as you guys both start with the kids being young, taking turns working and picking up kids from daycare, you feel like you get your kids raised as a couple, and then when they blossom and they're doing sports and then they're starting to be able to age to spend the night at people's houses and then they're able to drive or get rides from friends or go work late hours, you feel like you're supposed to be a family unit where God designed that two-parent family and the kids blossom and leave you empty nesters. And people get really sad, they have empty nest, but they still have their spouse and their puppy and their kitten and their lizard their kid left or iguana. And you're like, a single mom, and nobody gives a flying hoot about you. You never get Christmas presents. You never get birthday presents. Never say never. You very rarely. I've had a couple of strangers before give me a birthday gift or Christmas gift. Someone I don't even know their name really, or I make sure I remember their name because they hand me something from wherever. If we're at a school, they go to the school bookstore. If we're at a meeting, they go to the gift shop inside the meeting. Like random people, I don't even know their name. So I sure just saw another movie. Please, when you do something nice, even to a complete stranger, people like me remember that because that's the nicest thing for me that has happened all decade. I'm not saying for me, I'm a brat, but I feel like people come in to public places, to workplaces after Christmas, after your birthday. Look, I got this ring, I got this bracelet, I got this outfit, I got this coat for my wife. Like, people come in, and I could tell you that my jewelry comes from my daughter, my bracelets. This bracelet. Mother's Day, I don't know this one's. I'm missing one. I'm missing a necklace too. I gotta find that necklace. But I just feel like I want to cry because and my rabbit didn't eat like any of his food all day. His bananas or his carrot or his nuts. I don't know what's wrong. Sometimes he does that and then he eats the blueberries. I think he's like the guinea pigs. You can't eat too much sweet. He self-regulates better than guinea pigs. I think guinea pigs will eat all of the sweets. I don't want them to get sick either. So this is part 3. This is really long. I did some prepping, racism, so single, and I don't want to. I want to give up on people. I want to give up on hanging out with other humans, adults, and even my own kids. And one is adult, one's still a child. And I'm like, I want to give up. Because when I had kids that were little, we went to the park or get ice cream or go to the pizza place to do a fundraiser for school. You see all your classmates come and go. And there was something about that was fun. It was always having a buddy. When I was a stay-at-home mom, and when my kids in the shelter system, you had to put them in daycares, you had to put them in this certain school. You didn't have a choice. You couldn't homeschool. You couldn't try to get them into a private school with a scholarship. You had to do what they said, or they kick you out. So you were forced to get daycare. You were forced to use the list for the DHS. I've had some super shady places. Oh my god. And you end up you do it because you don't want your kids to be homeless anymore. And because these people, when you follow their rules, they don't kick you out, they don't write you up, and they're the answer to the next housing program. They are the ones that write the letter of recommendation after they open up. This place has openings, or this place has a wait list. They're the ones who, the community, I can't go to this place to sign me up. It's like you have to be referred by them. So you don't follow their rules. You're back on the streets, back sleeping under the trees. And during those times of going from place to place to place to place 7 days a week, and then going to medical school 7 days a week, traveling in and out of state, like I showed you, Washington State and all around Washington Hills, it ends up being you're really tired all the time. And I used to say, why am I so tired? Why are my classmates so happy? Why are my classmates so relaxed? And I had to think to myself, they actually take breaks. They take vacations. They go to Hawaii. They go to India. They go do this cruise. They do these things where there's a concert and a cruise and they just eat and drink. And they don't think about school. They don't have kids. Or they have kids at grandma's house. And they are with their partner or a group of friends or their sister's having a wedding. And that's what normal people did. They had the money to do it. They had the funds. They had the resources. They had the ability to do it with friends. And they were able, even though you rest after you come home on vacation because you're worn out packing and going through airplanes and all that, you still have that. I go out of town so rarely. When I go out of town, it's because I'm like going from the side of town to the other. I'm going to Tiger, which is 0.1 miles from my house. Less than 0.1 miles. When I go out of town even a little bit, I notice, oh, I see something different. I see different stores. Oh, that place looks interesting. Look at the antique shop. Wow, gee, that looks like a nice place to have a picnic. Like you see not the ordinary, and your brain gets a chance to be creative and to see new people, places, and things. You might see some familiar things. Look, it's a DQ. Can I get a salad? Oh wait, don't get the bacon. Don't get the sour cream. Don't get the. Oh, my stomach is so growly. I hate being hungry and broke. I I had to be busy, and because we went from place to place to place, we stopped a lot in parking lots, parks, and other places like that to break up the drive, the commute back and forth, or wait for traffic to die down, or just plain simple to go to the park, which usually it was because we were waiting for those two things. And so before I was homeless, before that last time I was really homeless, I was home with the kids, going to the park, and I was a stay-at-home mom, and I worked some, went to school some. But I was used to go out in public and saying we, because it would be the three of us. And as they went to preschool and kindergarten, I'd always be in the store, how are you doing today? Oh, we're doing well. And it really slapped me in the face when my daughter was 5 that I had nobody with me after 5 years of being with somebody constantly. I was a stay-at-home mom, and then I had a husband. So for a while, our marriage, he would actually be at home at night, unless he had a night job. And I was so blinded by his hatred of me. So blinded. Because what love was to me was hurt, and pain, and calling me names. That's how I was raised. My mom. So my chair is put together with cardboard and zip ties. The chair that I'm sitting on right now. But the bottom story to put things in perspective. So I have these dreams and ambitions. I felt like God was saying you needed a pair, a couple. be a part of a pair. I forgot to say that earlier, so that you can exponentially do the work of God, heaven on earth work, because more than one together makes us stronger, union, which could bring more love, and iron sharpens iron, and even following the Bible, whatever that means, friendship, neighbor, business partner, romantic interest, and isn't it fun when you're like 18? Sometimes, like if you're straight, guys talk to you, or even if they don't talk to you that much, but you're like got the style, and this vibe about you. But now I'm like old, and I'm like, it's like every day goes by, it's like worse and worse, and it's like my friend is. He's not 70 yet. He's almost 70. He's like, when I was your age, I thought I was old. I thought I was raggedy. He's like, now I look at me like, oh God, would I love to be your age? So I want to say that out loud. If anybody's actually listening to this, I want to say that out loud. That I know people that age of that guy that can barely walk, and they had a lot of surgeries and they're in a lot of pain, and people get cancer treatments. Sometimes it's good. They see their kids grow up and have grandkids, and they have these different people that they can pray for. Even if they live alone with a pet, like you saw me with my pet, it's really a companion worker, but still, whatever. There's a reason we have things that we don't eat that are not livestock, right? Companions. And I feel like God's not finished with me. There's no saying that I'd wake up tomorrow. There's no saying this dude won't nuke us. And so with that, I'm gonna go do my call report. And this looks like pizza. What if I just went to Freddy's right now and just got like a big pizza, like a deli pizza, and just like ate it, the whole thing on myself? Yeah, I should do that one day. It was like raw food, gluten free, meat free, corn free, tapioca free, like all of the stuff. Soy, well, I eat rag liquid is not fermented, but it's processed somehow. People tell me like that's fermented alcohol. You loser! Like seriously, I researched stuff a long time ago when I memorized what I think I can eat and what I can't, mostly based on how it makes my body feel. But then I didn't call myself a raw foodist for a long time because I had a few things that weren't raw. And then I turned into like a raw foodist because of the car accident, and then a vegan or a vegetarian because of the car accident. And like I committed to being it, not just most of the time, but all the time. And it's really hard because it's really expensive. Like you could be like fruits and vegetables. Like usually you're like, oh, fruits and vegetables are so expensive. But ramen's more expensive than buying it like 88 cents of spaghetti. That's gonna be twice as big, but it's got a different texture. It's like just because the packets are cheap, it's not cheaper than just pasta. And I just feel like I can't do it anymore. I feel like I'm yesterday I just slept, and I should probably do the same today. Yesterday I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna sleep. 'Cause I'm so tired. And I was supposed to do that 3 days prior, and my kid's like, I need this, I need that, I need this. I'm like, dude, I don't have time for this and that. Like I didn't do any billing this week, not one, not even a resubmittal, which is simple. Change the code, keep the diagnosis, or keep the code and change the diagnosis. Sometimes you have to make it more. Like if you say headache, you might need to say on the right side, or doesn't cause vision problems. Like with the ICD-10, you got to be more specific. And even though I'm used to ICD-9, where you have like this D71, or whatever it is. And it's like very unspecific. There's nothing past a point, like 0.00 or point. So I felt like if you put something 71.89, something is not specific enough. They want even more. And there was a class that was $250 for billing. I really want to take it. And that's one of the things when you have no income. You can't take that class. And I don't have a gift card to use. And you really, really, really want to tell them, dude, I seriously have a title as a physician. I seriously have a clinic space. Who's making money? Any penny I get goes to the rent and to Comcast. I haven't seen a penny unless it's to pay the credit card that I used to pay off my light bill, my malpractice insurance, my other insurance, like all of that stuff. I guess so, not the light bill, but the insurance, the license, some of the CE classes, DEA, all that stuff has to be paid for. Because I'm not employee somewhere else, I have to pay for it. If I was employee somewhere else, oftentimes they pay for that. CE, stipend, all that stuff. Which you would probably use to travel. They have one at the beach. So, I'm going to hope for the best. I felt like the first year I was in practice when I made 0, God was like, clean your house. And you'll be really organized in your brain and in your space. And your clinic will skyrocket. Secondly, God told me, you need to rest now. Like, you need to purposely take days off. Because when you're taking days off, you can't rest. When you're at the beach, when I used to go to the beach, I remember studying with flashcards because I had to study for like remediation or board exam. Inside the water. I just couldn't shut it off. So I'm thinking, I want to lease, to own, on terms or purchase really cheap land that has an office space. No mice, no bed bugs, none of that yuck. And it can be credentialed with insurance somewhere in Washington State. I'm not trying to organize too hard. And because everything is 7 hours away that I can afford, and I can't even afford it anymore. All that stuff is bought up in the past like 6 months to a year. And be able to travel, which is work, to a location. I'm going to take a train, go to that place, and put the open shingle on, and work out of that clinic for a weekend, or a week, or a day, or 3 weeks, and be able to go back and forth. I don't want it more than 2 hours away. Go back and forth. Just to get that perspective change. Just to get, oh, that looks like a nice place to have a picnic. And I don't want any more overhead. I don't want, what if I could lease a place? 50 cents, or $50 a month from somebody. Sunday afternoon space. And put an ad and say, appointment Sunday afternoon, and whenever there's an appointment, go. If there's not an appointment, or they cancel, turn around and go home. That wouldn't be my space. I wouldn't necessarily be able to keep myself there. And it wouldn't be, what I want is like 2 lots. One has a house or a condo, like a self-contained condo where you're by yourself. Like a house, or like a mother-in-law's house above a garage, and next to it is a clinic space or a store. That's what I want. It can be on the same property. So I kind of want the residents to be separate. I want to be able to own it in case something happens and I just need to move there. Then I live there and I travel to Oregon to do my clinic here and make a decision like, do I want to keep it here? Do I want to again move out to Woodburn and open a clinic cheaper? So I think that to top it, this in this thing is rest so that the good Lord can talk to me. Quiet my mind so the good Lord can talk to me. Recognize there's a lot of people in my life that I see even on a job that are like happy to see me, and I have to be grateful for that. The other thing about that is to just the other thing is to just realize, unfortunately, not everybody, but people in my situation, our demographic keeps us single and friendless. And most people I know at least have friends or they have cousins or someone they can celebrate holidays with, siblings. They can bring a potluck over. I called my cousins, they were all having a potluck. And my cousin had lived in New Orleans, so they were doing dirty rice and all this New Orleans soul food. And it just sounded like they had those heating trays, that sterno stuff, and the trays, kids, dogs. It sounds so much fun. I want to cry. I'm really hungry, and I have stacks and stacks of work to do. I can't even I don't know if I can do it. Hungry. I told myself, just go through the cupboards, eat any old nuts, any frozen fruit, any tea with honey, and just go through it. Like, I used my emergency kit. I got rid of razors. I want to get rid of the knives. Used the old can opener. Used all the food. There's no jerky. There's no emergency food. We didn't even have any soup. So I bought 2 cans of soup, and my son knows. And just go through that stuff. But what I'm gonna do is just have to quiet my brain right now for 15 minutes and then work on my call report. This is a lot longer video, but I wanted to share that idea. I had a part 2 of it. I can't remember what it was. The one was like just face the facts. If my hand was cut off, severed, I'd have to face the facts that it's gone. And there may be a chance to do prosthetic or transplant, or someone could save that hand, stick it in milk or something, I don't know. But I had to face the fact that this is my reality. And I have to move forward alone. When I got married, I said, in my mind, all I could think, all of my focus was, I'm so happy we're married, I'm going to stay married for a life. And you never know with accidents, like I said, adultery, them leaving you. It's like, that day that I got married in Reno, even with the hatred for my family, I never, ever even thought of divorce. The day after and the week after, okay, yeah, this guy went crazy and became his real self. But I never thought, oh, just in case. Like, we had discussed before marriage when we got the brands, just in case we get divorced, we both have an M on our brands. Like, oh, well, both of our names start with M, so we'll just keep it to ourselves, to our name. We'll dismiss it. So there was one mention of just in case it doesn't work out. And then we went and sizzled our skin. And I told you I was in a gang. Just kidding. Yeah, I was in a gang. I started a gang in high school. It's called Dosage and Temperance. There was 2 of us. I think our sign was like dice. Dosage and Temperance. I always have addiction. I've had addiction around for life. I'll show it to you. I hope I still have it. Oh my god. It's a Dr. Seuss dictionary. That was like my first dictionary. I'll point it to 2 words in the regular dictionary. The first one was dosage, the second one was intemperance. I love that name. And I had like this gang sign. I was a small town girl and I was striving to be like a city girl. That's what I saw on MTV Raps. So I thought that was the life that I was striving for. Shiny cars, girls with honey clans and dancing for this one guy who's rapping, wearing gold chains, gold teeth,